Man, this team kind of nasty, dog.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, guys. All right. There's something that I want to talk about, okay? And it's about Blake Wesley. Blake Wesley, we already know he's an ultimate competitor. We've heard stories about him in training camp. We've heard stories about him before training camp, obviously, during the summer league. We've heard stories about him when he was trying out for teams. And it's pretty well known that he is an ultimate competitor. And I came across this, and I definitely wanted to talk about it. I wanted to watch it with you guys and just basically react to it. Big shout out to Tom Petrini, by the way. We had him on the channel before. I really like Tom. He's a nice guy. All right, now before we do that, really quick, you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description. Please get yourself some merch. This is a newer one that I just dropped, but I got another one coming too, so yeah, don't worry. I got so many. I got so many ideas. So if you guys want to support, please do. And just be patient with the shipping, because I get so many in. I work during the day, okay? So be patient. But hey, if you want to support, please do. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's go ahead and watch this. So this is what Blake Wesley basically had to say about this group.
You mentioned the competitiveness that you rookies brought in, especially with a young team like this. How much are you guys gonna rely on that and feel like you can fall back on that, when things get tough? If
you can't hear it, basically the interviewer asked him, hey, you guys are very competitive, and how well do you think that the team will lean on that competitiveness going forward? Kind of, I don't know, generic question, but yes, listen.
Right. I mean, yeah, we are young, so it's gonna take a couple months to get really in the groove. We lost DeJounte, but we still filling in for DeJounte. He was here for around 8 years, so we're trying to build that back up where he was here.
How long did he even know him? I don't know. He didn't even know him. Did he even meet him? No, I think they talked briefly. I don't know.
How cool was it to come in with a group that, everybody's kind of got that dog in them a little bit?
So the interviewer basically said, how does it feel to come with a group that has dog in them?
It's a good group. I like to be around everybody who got a dog in them. I mean, I feed off of it. They feed off me, feed off them, and it's a good atmosphere.
Okay, so you can see that he kind of lit up when the dog in them question came up. Initially, he was just like, yeah, I don't know, this question, whatever. He said, how do you feel about people that got dog in them? Oh, I love dog. I'm a dog. Woof, woof. He went in on that one. So look, these are my thoughts on this, okay? Now, I know that I ended up saying, and maybe I should have elaborated a little bit. I saw this, and when I saw this roster, I actually didn't have the same reaction that a lot of other people did. I genuinely think this is not that bad of a roster. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, going forward, okay, in this season, I'm not expecting us to be a good team. It's not like I saw this roster and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be so great. Not necessarily. But I think the only thing holding us back is age. I really think that's it. Now, as far as talent, who's going to be a star, you guys know that I'm putting my, eggs in the basket when it comes to Josh Primo. But I don't know if he'll necessarily have like a star-studded season this season. I think it'll still take time. And us, not being great of a team is really going to help us, because as it stands right now, there's no one I can necessarily point to and say 100% that they're going to be a star. I believe Josh Primo will be, but if we go ahead and get in that lottery, if we get, not just the lottery, but if we get the top 3 pick, yeah, that's going to be a star. Okay, they are a star coming into the league, and that's what you want while these guys develop and eventually become stars. But when I look at this roster, like, just really quickly, if we just go over it, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Kuz. We talked about him before. I don't know a ton about him. Smooth player though. Trey Jones, we know he's not necessarily going to be a star, but he is a solid backup point guard. By the way, did he even get a guaranteed contract yet? I don't know what's going on with that. Malachi Branham, he definitely can be a star. Won't be this season, I don't think, but he kind of reminds me of DeMar DeRozan, the way that he can kind of maneuver to his spots, and has a really nice mid-range game and a pretty good facilitator as well. Like, I wouldn't be angry if Pop wanted to put him at point guard here and there. Josh Richardson, obviously that's not long-term. Jang, not long-term. Zach Collins, a really good defender. If he's healthy, he can be legitimate. If he is who he was supposed to be, he's something serious. And then we got a guy here who can do a little bit of everything. You see McDermott. I don't know if he'll still be here, but really good 3-point shooter, obviously. But I don't really want to focus on this. I want to focus on the young guys. Okay, I don't care. All right, Josh Primo. You guys know how I feel about him. I don't have to really like go in on that. Hall. This is a really good point forward that I don't think that we talk about a lot. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But he definitely impressed the Spurs in the summer league. And I think that going forward, if we have any issues or we want to move Josh Primo to shooting guard, or we don't want Malachi Branham to have to run point or anything like that, I think that he's a guy that you could potentially bring in and very versatile. He actually reminds me of a Livingston. So if we keep him for the long term, I think that he can fit in very well. I don't expect Romeo to stay. Devin Vassell, obviously a lot of people believe that he could be a potential Chris Middleton type player. So if everything pan out how I'm thinking, Josh Primo becomes like kind of a star player. Malachi Branham, same thing. We got like a Chris Middleton type build right here. We have a Livingston type build right here. And then Jeremy Sohan, he's the guy that puts everything together, not only on the court, but off the court. I mean, this is a really nice squad, guys. Going forward, Keldon Johnson, obviously he'll probably be the best player this season. I don't know if he'll make the biggest jump, but he'll probably be the best player, or at least average the most points per game. But he'll be able to move to his natural position as small forward. Him and Jeremy Sohan, I think they're going to feed off each other very well. And things that Sohan sees, he can kind of make up for any lack of judgment that Keldon has. Because last season, Keldon had a little bit of tunnel vision, but that's besides the point. Oh, you can't see him. Joe Weezy. Joe Weezy's right here. A lot of people don't care for him. I like him. I like Joe Weezy. I think that he'll play really well off of Joshua Primo. And if we go ahead and get rid of McDermott, or we do trade McDermott, I think that's a good fill-in going forward. And now this is the one, Dom Barlow. I think he's one that we don't talk about a ton, but he could definitely be kind of a secret weapon. Like, as you guys know, I didn't even have like a ton on him before we went into the draft. I went over every single player. I did do Dom Barlow for a video, but it was just really hard to figure out like what his game was, because he was so much everything. Like, he was a little bit of everything. It was really hard. Like, I mean, I saw, and I'm not saying that he's this, okay? I'm not saying he's this, but I saw a little bit of KD, and then when I talked to Swiss Shield, he's like, oh, I see a little bit of John Collins. You talk to somebody else and they see something different. So it was really hard to pinpoint, but I will say this, he adjusts very well, and he is definitely somebody that could be in the background brewing while this team gets together, and he could be something serious. So that's a good one. Obviously, your boy Blake Wesley, one of the most athletic players in the NBA right now. I mean, he even said that the player that he wants to go against is Ja Morant, which is telling, if you will. I mean, Ja Morant is an athletic freak. So I'm sure he sees a little bit of his game in him. And then obviously Jakob, very solid defender. Isaiah Roby, very similar to Jeremy Sohan in that he can guard 1 through 5, very versatile. So all I'm trying to say is, like, I know a lot of people who don't keep up with the Spurs will see this team and initially just count them off and say, you know, they're trash, they're not good, I don't know who any of these players are, therefore they're bad. And I don't think that. Even when we lose some games, I think there's going to be some close ones here and there, and I think we're going to see some sparks from specifically Josh Primo and Malachi Branham in crunch time, and we'll see some sparks from Blake Wesley as well. He just kind of has to get a little more in control. But overall, all I'm saying is I think that this is a better squad than we think. So let's just wait and see. Hopefully the Spurs make a few more moves. Like, I don't think McDermott is necessary. I don't even think Josh Richardson is necessary. So we'll see. But as it stands right now, this is a good squad. This is a good squad. This is a good foundation. Okay. Not saying they're going to win a lot of games. It is a good foundation. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. That's my thoughts. I'm hype on it, but yeah, hey, you know, some people don't agree with me. Anyways, you want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description for that, or become a Patreon YouTube member, only $2 per month. I really appreciate the love, for real. Thank you. But until next time, deuces.